Abu 7. It seems the establishment is again telegraphing lights out. One of the most recent warnings was the World Economic Forum out of Davos, warning of this lights out event and also dubbing this year as the year of the polycrisis. Well, we now have Dennis Quaid, the actor Dennis Quaid, reading from a script, giving out this warning in a series of clips that they're promoting on Fox News, and he's in this brand new interview talking about the same thing, and you can tell from the clips that are shared where he has short hair to the new interview where he has long hair that he's been out there doing this, talking about this for some time now. And he says that everything that we just went through with the lockdowns and everything would be child's play compared to a lights out event. Why is he the one going around warning about all this? Well, it seems they've chosen him to do so, and he's reading from the cue cards, saying exactly what they want him to tell the masses out there. And he says that the electric will go out for at least 30 days, or up to 30 days. So that seems to be the window. They also state that people cannot survive without water for more than 3 days, and that this too will shut down the water supply. How many people are paying attention or even care? How many people even care anymore? From what I could tell and I could see, a lot just don't. So I spent a decade warning everybody about this event. We're on the doorstep of it. And he also warns of or mentions the Chinese spy balloons, and Jesse Waters starts saying, oh, so they could have put an EMP on that and detonated it over the United States. And he's like, yeah. Well, I want to remind you that there is a satellite that is passing over the United States. You can see it right there. This is the North Korean Shining Star satellite. And if or when it blows over the United States or wherever it does, it will be just that. It will look like a shining star in the abyss of dark that it created. It's all anyone will see from the ground. And I'm warning you, they're telegraphing it again. So this is a repeated theme. Now they've got one of their Hollywood goons out here reading from the script, warning, lights out is coming, with a bunch of other little warnings ticker taped in there as well. I'm going to leave a link so you can watch this video clip on this, and I'm going to break this down further on the next live stream. Make sure to join me. Right now, going live Monday and Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern on Dabu 777 and on Kick. You'll find links below in the description.
Hey, Shalom, Akim, Shalom. First thing and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Kakodah. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone and Ruwell. Blessings and salutations to the whole elect. Who is in this gospel, brother, understand of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. This is another lesson through the Spirit. Current events, prophecy, okay, things to come. This article that I found via Dabu 7's video, it says Dennis Quaid, which, you know, he's a notable actor. You should be familiar to the masses of you that watch movies. Dennis Quaid sounds the alarm on what happened if the U.S. power grid goes down. It would be like to take us back to 1880. And this is a video here. I don't think I'm going to play it. Well, let's see something, see how long it is. I don't want to be over. How many minutes it is. Oh, it's only like 7 minutes. I may play some of it, you know, but if not, I'll probably post a link in the description because I'm going to watch it because I haven't watched it. But it says there's been several attacks on substations, and I heard about one a couple of months ago, and this is not day after tomorrow, but by the way, this is tomorrow, and I think it could happen, and it is a problem that we could fix. It says that basically this in 2003, right here in New York, there was a wire that brushed up against a tree limb, and it took out the electricity in New York for 2 days. That was just a small little event, but in an EMP event, a bad actor can take out through a Chinese balloon for all we know. Okay, now he's just pretty much going into it here. But as we we've been watching videos about these balloons. They speculated that the Chinese was spying on them with satellites and they're aliens and, possibly weapons to do what they call electromagnetic, electromagnetic pulse, EMP, electromagnetic pulse, which is basically an EMP strike. Okay. What happens is if you get hit with an EMP, basically what it does is it shuts down the grid and it pretty much shuts down everything that's that deals with power. Okay. EMP, EMP attack. Yep, electromagnetic pulse. A burst of electromagnetic energy produced by nuclear explosion in the atmosphere, considered capable of widespread damage to power lines, telecommunications, electronic computing equipment, meaning your cell phones, the cell phones, it'll work until the power dies out. But even then, I believe that these cell phone towers have like a certain percentage of power they can operate on for a certain time. Like you can get certain AM stations, but after a while, the power dwindles down. This is why walkie-talkies, etc., those walkie-talkies that can have like up until 48-hour talk time, those would be good because for the simple fact, once the cell phone lines go down, you're not going to get any signals or anything like that. Microwaves, the electric stove, everything is ran off electricity now, like from the gas meters to the lights and so forth. Everything is pretty much powered through electricity. Okay, they done that systematically because with that being said, they can control everything, and they're talking about detonating these particular pulses under these cities, which will pretty much wipe out an entire city, and that could be detriment. That could be detrimental to the economic infrastructure and to the people, because as Dabu was going into how people, they don't really know how to survive. They don't know anything outside of going to fucking Walmart and Costco and what you call that other place, Costco and Sam's Club. You know what I'm saying? That's all they know because they've been programmed, they've been spoiled with this American way of living. Versus you go to third world countries, man, they used to not having power. And what's so funny about this was, I believe it was Friday night. I was chilling at the crib, and I came home, and we have a company out here, utility company called Evergy. Okay, it used to be KCP, and it used to be called Kansas City Power and Light. Now they changed it to Evergy. Basically, scamming people, ripping people off. So a lot of times these particular providers, they're the same company ran by the same people and corporations, but they change the name in order to avoid, being sued, so to speak. But long story short, I came home and there was a notice on the door from Evergy stating that on the 18th of April, which was 2 days ago, they was going to be cutting power and upgrading the stations or something like that out here. So expect power outages from the early morning hours. But what's so weird, I'm going to say around 8, 9 o'clock that night, I was just sitting in the living room, chilling Friday night, had my drink and shit. And all of a sudden, the entire goddamn complex went pitch black. But what's so weird is because, I stay not too far from the airport. So I'm thinking this, I seen this bright light flash into the living room because like the flight routes up here are kind of weird. They're like all over the place. So sometimes when you look out the patio door, you can see the different flight routes. You can see the planes coming and docking into the airport. So I saw this big ass light like flashing in my living room, and I'm thinking like, damn, that looked like a chariot. So the spirit said, get up and look. So I went up and looked outside and stood on the balcony, and there was a light there. But then all of a sudden it turned off and it turned sideways, and the spirit like, what if that's a chariot? But then I'm noting that we're by the airport, so I'm like, okay, there ain't nothing by it. But I got this real ominous feeling. Like, I'm like, that was just too bright because I've never seen a light that bright flash into the living room like that from this distance, even though you do see planes in the air quite a bit up here. So I want to say like 15 minutes after that, I sat down and all of a sudden the whole complex went dark. Boom. So I was like, oh, shit. And I'm like, I know I paid my light bill. Everything is paid. and I look outside, it's pitch black. I mean, it's black, but across the street, like across the main road, across the highway, you can see the lights on over there. So I said, okay, this must just be in the area because I believe it was a storm in the area too. And when I say that it went pitch black, man, everything just went black within a whim. So I recorded it, and I'm just commentating on it. and I was gonna upload the video, but I was a little tipsy and shit, so I didn't want to sound, sound all messed up. I was a little, a little intoxicated. I was nice, and I didn't want to, I wanted to be circumspect. But when I stated that when I said that it was an ominous feeling, it felt like a spirit in the air. You can feel the spirit of destruction and death. Like I literally felt like a chariot presence over the building. Okay, because it was one of those gloomy nights. It was gloomy, it was eerie, and it was dark. It was dark, but it had like those gray, ominous clouds to it. And the spirit, like, it may just be a chariot over us, man, that caused that. And back in my mind, I'm like, it could have been a chariot because, hey, the scriptures goes into it. And then all of a sudden, Average sent the text message like 5 minutes later because the power came on like literally 10 minutes later. So they sent the text message talking about, oh, well, it was an equipment failure. So obviously they was messing with something in the area, or they're doing something, or they know something is up. But that was an automated response. Equipment failure? I don't think so. Either they're experimenting with these blackouts, these rolling blackouts, or that could have been a chariot. Who knows? Okay, but I just felt the spirit of death in the air, man. Because the spirit, like, look, man, y'all just gonna have to get ready. Okay, get ready, stay ready, so you don't have to get ready. But at that moment, in the middle of our comfort zone, I'm chilling, I'm watching the TV, watching my show, and having my yan and shit. And at that split second, all hell could have just broke loose like that. Spirit just like, look, just go. Just that quick, man. Like the Lord said, he come as a thief in the night. So like I say, man, one day we gonna wake up, it's gonna be a whole different Babylon, man. All right, and we got to be mindful of these things, man, not to never get caught off guard. That's why the scriptures say you don't want to get caught surfeiting, unless that day take you unawares, which surfeiting goes into drunkenness. And when it says drunk, it's not talking about drunk off alcohol or anything like that. Though you don't want to be drunk 24/7, but it's talking about drunk off the philosophies and not paying attention. You know what I'm saying? And instantly when that happened, I sobered up and I'm like, okay, it's go time. Knowing that it was just like a minor mishap, but nonetheless, more things like that is going to happen because, hey, we in those times, man. Okay, Esau, Edom, one day, shit just going to pop off, man, and we like, oh, okay. So this is the book of Ezekiel 7, and I'm going to start at verses 12. And it says here, no, Ezekiel 12, I'm sorry, Salakia. Ezekiel 12, and I'm going to start at verses 19. Matter of fact, let's start at verses 17. It says, moreover, the word of Yahweh came to me, saying, Son of man, eat thy bread with quaking and drink thy water with trembling and with carefulness, because there's going to be a shortage of food out here. Things are going to be rationed off, especially when these major grids and these blackouts come. When Esau shuts down the power, all hell going to break loose. Okay, because when lights don't come on within 2 or 3 days, let's just say, okay, at that day, because we've dealt with blackouts for days, some people weeks. Usually if a big storm is in the area, like I remember when I was a child, we had a snowstorm and we was snowed in for 2 days with no lights. We ain't had no lights, like 2 feet of snow outside. The only thing we had was candles and the sun and the moon. You know what I'm saying? And no heat, no nothing, but we covered up in blankets. So long story short, things get out of hand pretty quick when people realize that ain't no turning back. But I say a day, 2 days after power, things that still remain pretty calm with crime here and there. But once the power is off for weeks at a time and people realize that this is an ongoing problem, people are going to start to riot, man. Okay, people are going to start breaking into people's homes looking for food. Once they food and they little vitamin D milk go bad and, their little fucking hog head cheese and that shit spoils and the bologna, people going to literally be on a prowl going house to house, door to door. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, don't be surprised you get a knock at the door from a neighbor with a sawed-off shotgun in his hand, demanding to come in your house and get what you got, man. Because it's going to be a dog-eat-dog world in that day. And this is the reason why we're going to need that spiritual power. All right? But it says, and said to the people of the land, thus says the Lord Yahweh, the inhabitants of Jerusalem and of the land of Israel, they should eat their bread with carefulness and drink their water with astonishment, that our land may be desolate from all that is therein, because of the violence of all of them that dwell therein. Right, man? And this place is going to get violent, okay? Because people are going to literally go to the streets. They're going to riot. They're going to set shit on fire, okay? And most cases, during an EMP strike, hey, man, who's to say you ain't going to have airplanes falling out the sky? Because allegedly a lot of these new airplanes, a lot of them are supposed to be equipped to withstand an EMP blast. You know, they supposed to be able to operate, but think about the ones they haven't decommissioned yet. The old ones, those old airliners, man. Like when you go to Kansas City Airport or KCI, basically in the other yard they have like a bunch of dismanned aircrafts, man. They don't use them. They're not in service anymore. They're not up to code because they're not equipped with that new technology. But, you know, give or take, you may have 3 or 4 that may somehow, some way make it through service. And then, hey, you can expect shit to fall out the sky in that day. And it's pretty bad up here because, you know, we right not too far from the airport, man. So, you know, it's going to be pretty fucked up here in Kansas City where we at, man, because, you know, shit, we right in the middle of a flight route, man. You know, well, not where I stay particular, but nonetheless, they do fly within this area. So it ain't nothing for me to look out my window and see an aircraft literally falling out the sky, man. Before you know it, explosion, boom. Then people bugging the fuck out, people getting scared. It's gonna be it's gonna be crazy out here, man. I can't wait, man, because look, bro, that's the time that the Lord said it's gonna get real bad. You know. So anyway. It says, and the cities and the inhabitants should be laid waste. And that's going to happen when these cities go down. And the land should be desolate, and ye should know that I am the Lord. And it says, and the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, what is that proverb that ye have in the land of Israel, saying, the days are prolonged in every vision felleth? Because, you know, with our people, they swept down that what we talking about is never going to happen. Like they say, what y'all been saying? Y'all been saying that for 100 years. Well, the scriptures have been saying this for thousands of years. But see, Jake, they want to stave it off for another 100 or 1,000 years because they want to engage in their wickedness, man. Because a nigga know if Yahweh Shai was to return tonight, they ain't going to make it. They ain't going to get that salvation because they're going to die in their sins. And that's why Jake always try to hold off the day of the Lord, man. Okay, Jake willingly holds off the day of the Lord because they're not ready to stop doing wickedness. You know, Jake is he's too lackadaisical. He's too enjoying of the time in a slumber here in Babylon, man. Okay, Jake loves it here. Jake don't want to leave. They don't want Yahweh Shai to come back and set up the kingdom of heaven because that means it's the end of their wickedness. Okay. It says, tell them therefore, thus says the Lord Yahweh, I will make this proverb to cease. And they should no more use it as a proverb in Israel, because the word proverb just goes into like a saying. Okay, it says, but saying to them, the days are at hand in the effect of every vision. Okay, and this is a vision that the men of the Lord have seen. Okay, the streets of Babylon going dark, completely dark, to the point that ominous presence spirits. Okay, because we know America is a hunted land anyway, due to the bloodshed of the Gadites, the Native American Indians, and the Seminole Indians. Okay, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. This place is a hunted land, man. Okay, it's all types of ley lines and so forth that happens in America, man. Well, that's in America, not happens, but it's all sorts of spiritual pockets here in America, of spiritual cosmic activity going on. You know, haunted houses, graveyards. And when the Lord allows this to happen, the Lord is going to thin the veil from the 4th dimension into the 3rd dimension. It's literally he's going to allow them spirits to cross over into this realm. You know, and they was talking about that when they reactivated CERN last year, you know, splitting the God particles and extracting spirits from the spiritual world, man. That's what Esau was doing. You know, accounts of shadows and shit, shadow creatures popping up. One guy was breaking down how sometimes he can be walking down the street or crossing the street and a car can just appear out of nowhere like it came out of a damn portal, man. And I can attest to that because I done literally drove through intersections and a fucking car came. I'm like, I didn't even see that. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, yeah, you have hills and so forth, and people do drive quick, but, you know, sometimes I go through a roundabout, and it's clear as day, and I look left or right, all of a sudden a car coming out of nowhere. I'm like, where the fuck the car just come from? So you have portals all over this place, man, and the Lord is going to allow these spirits to coexist in this realm, man, and they're going to have the power to put hell on you people if you're not grounded in the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, man. It's going to get real scary out here. It's going to be like a horror movie. And you can read about that in Wisdom of Solomon 16 and 17. And it says here, therefore, there should be no more any vain vision nor fluttering divination within the house of Israel. For I am the Lord, and I will speak, and the word that I should speak shall come to pass. And how is the Lord speaking? Through the men of the Lord, through the prophets, which is his voice on the planet Earth. So when we're doing these videos, this is ultimately the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai speaking through his men. Okay, whether you accept that or not. Okay. And it says here, for there should be no more any vain vision or flattering divination within the house of Israel. For I am the Lord, and I will speak, and the word that I shall speak shall come to pass, and it shall no more be prolonged. For in your days, O rebellious house, will I say the word, and will perform it, says the Lord Yahweh. So in the days we're in now, this is the time that the Lord is going to actually start performing these things that he spoke about. Because majority of the prophecies that's written in the scriptures was said to be performed in the times we're living in the end times. Okay, 90% of the Bible was really written for this time today. Now, of course, you have manifold prophecy. You have things that happened already, like the Babylonians, the Persians and the Medes, the Syrians, the Greeks, the Romans. These things have all came to pass. Okay, but overall, those prophecies have dual meanings to them as well. Because now we're in a time now that these things are going to really manifest themselves, man. Okay? People think, oh, well, that happened already. So you think the Most High didn't write about the times we in now? You think the Bible was just written for ancient world endeavors only? No, the scriptures was really written for the time we in today. That's why Romans 15:4 said that the things that are written then was written for our learning today. And that applies to now. Okay? And it says, and the word of the Lord came to me, saying, Son of man, behold, they of the house of Israel say, the vision that he seeth is for many days to come. And my mama to say that to me, oh, that's 100 years. That ain't going to happen for 100 years. Why it got to happen for 100 years? Because you say so? Why? Because you don't understand the scriptures? Because you don't understand the prophecies and you don't know where we at on a prophetic timetable? Because you don't understand what's happening in the world around you? Because things ain't moving at your pace? And that's the thing with Jake. Jake always feel like since they can't dictate shit according to their will, then it can't be true. Nah, man. Prophecy happens over a gradual piece of time. Okay, the scriptures was written over a time of cover our existence, man. It even prophesied into the kingdom. You see? So things ain't gonna just happen in one day. Now, we would like for this fucking place to go down today, but we understand that that's likely not the case because prophecy has to play out. But we know that we at the end of Esau's rulership. Okay, he's been in rulership for too damn long. It's been 500 plus years already. You know? And the scriptures say he should continue for a short season. So he ain't got that long to go, man. And I believe that this is going to happen within our lifetime, man. Hopefully that happens within the next year, next couple of months. You know, I hope that 2024 be the year we out of here because it don't look like we're getting out of here this year. And I say that because this nigga is dragging his feet passing the Charagma. The minute he decides to pass the Charagma is the minute that we literally are going to be on our way out of here any day now. So once this Fed now is set up in July, I keep saying January, but once the Fed now is set up finally, then we could kind of foresee things progress from that point. Then we'll have some kind of idea as to how fast it's going to push the CBDC. All right, so, you know, we just got to wait to see when the Fed now is going to be up and running, which is in July. And from that point, you know, we're just going to see how he's going to do things. But I don't think it's going to make it out of this decade. I hope not, man. You know, niggas, they was talking about 2050, 2060 and down. They dwindling down to 2030 now, 2035. First they was talking about 2030, now they talking about 2025. We don't know, man. Okay, but it's looking like within the next, I can't give you a time frame, but we almost out of here. That's all I can really say. And it says, the Son of Man, they of the house of Israel say the vision that he seeth is for many days to come, and he prophesied of the time that are far off. Therefore saying to them, thus says the Lord Yahweh, there should none of my words be prolonged anymore, but the word which I have spoken should be done, says the Lord. So yeah, man, the Lord is getting ready to make these moves, man, any day now. All right. Ezekiel 7, and I'm going to start at verses 26, 25. It says, destruction cometh, and they shall seek peace, and there should be none, right? In the time of the siege, in the time of the grid shut down, there's going to be all types of chaos erupting on these streets. Like I said, murder, rape, military, okay, militias, crime, It's going to literally be a purge out here, door to door, okay? All types of wickedness is going to be happening on the streets of America, man, especially within these cities, man. Lawlessness is going to abound. The scriptures say because iniquity should abound, the love of many shall wax cold, okay? Meaning the mindsets of people, literally families turning on one another for the one of all things, you know, fighting over the last piece of bread, you know, children running away from their parents, man, getting caught up in these sex rings, prostitution. It's going to be bad out here, man. And we keep trying to warn you motherfuckers that it's going to get bad out here. Jobs, this shit is temporary, man. Your places to live, your homes, your vehicles, your places of employment or your careers, man, your outings and so forth with the girls' night out, that shit is going to be temporary. And I can't wait to see the look on you niggas' faces when this shit go down. All that pride, all that scoffing, all that bickering, all that talking shit about the men of the Lord. You're going to be looking for help in that day. And it says here, mischief should come upon mischief, and rumor should be upon rumor. And they that seek a vision of the prophet, but the law should perish from the priests and a counsel from the ancients, man. That's right. Mischief should come upon mischief, meaning destruction after destruction. Hell after hell, judgment after judgment, man. You know, and let's see what it says in a New Living Translation. It says calamity will follow calamity and rumor will follow rumor. Okay, calamity. Look up the word calamity. And it goes into, did I pass it? Yeah, well, it says mischief. Ruin, disaster. Okay. So that's what we have to look for. That's what you people have to look forward to. I'm faith in knowing that Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah is going to protect his elect. He promised that. So, brothers, we ain't got nothing to worry about, you know, but still being circumspect and, you know, just doing what we have to do, because it says here, 2nd Ezra 6, and I'm starting at 22, it says, and suddenly should the sown places appear unsown. The full storehouses should be suddenly found empty. The stores, things are going to shut down. The trumpet should give a sound, which when every man hear it, they should be suddenly afraid. And when that grid go down, and it goes down for the 30 days or however long, I believe, honestly speaking, the power ain't going to come back on. I believe you may have a certain instances when power come on. I think they're going to do it gradually. First, they're going to shut it down for 2 days, then maybe 4 days, and then maybe a week, then 2 weeks. And after that, they just going to leave that shit off, man. I think it's going to be dark all the way up until when Yahweh Shah returns, for real. Because, I mean, honestly, who's going to be paying the light bills? Who's going to be paying their rent? Who's going to be going to work in that day? Ain't going to really no need for that shit. Nobody's going to be being productive. It's going to be a lot of murder and killing in the streets. And it says, and at that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. And the springs of the fountain shall stand still, and in 3 hours they should not run. And whosoever remain from these things that I have told thee should escape and see my salvation in the end of your world, man. Okay, but it says the fountain shall stand still, in 3 hours they should not run. You remember he stated that the water supplies are going to be cut off. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, when the water is off, that's a whole nother problem you got to deal with. That means that the pumping stations at these pump stations where they deal with the bio and the waste and the shit like that, a lot of that is going to back up into the homes, because when the pumps ain't working, shit just going to back up into these sewers, man. It's going to smell like literally death out here, on top of all the dead bodies too. It's going to be bad, man. You literally going to have to walk around with a gas mask because the cities are going to be totally wasted. Rats everywhere, wildlife. You know, you're going to see creatures come. You're going to see creatures manifest that you've never even thought existed because of all the dead bodies and so forth. You know. 2nd Ezra 8 and 50, for many misery should be done to them that dwell, and that in a lot of time should dwell in the world, because they walked in great pride. So this is all due to your pride, man. Yahweh Shem Shah is going to hold that to your beck and call. But anyway, with that, all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. And with that, Shalom and Abba Shalom.